Hi guys, so I am here for a week's 32 and 33 update. That is insane. So I've filmed this about, I think like 1.5 times. So I filmed it once and it was really late at night and I was just like, oh, I want to like make sure they're updated and everything like that. But then I watched it and it just like didn't feel right to me. I know that sounds weird. So then I attempted to do it again. I think it's because, no, now thinking back about it, it's because I did it in a rush. I was doing it like right before I had to leave for yoga, or that I got to leave for yoga. And with the time change, like I'm getting used to when the sun goes down. So now it's perfect timing. And then I did it again when I was like getting ready to leave. And then I had to leave in like 5 minutes. And then my friend called me. So I was like, it's not happening. So finally, it's the perfect time. And the sun's still out. I don't even know how much longer, but here we are. So welcome. So if this is your first time watching me, my due date, I feel like I haven't talked about my due date in a long time. My due date is December 22nd. So when you're watching this, or as I'm filming this, I'm 35 weeks and 1 day. My weeks flip over every Saturday. And my name's Teresa. So we are expecting our first baby girl, or our first kid, our first baby, and it's going to be a baby girl. Also, I'm just gonna let you guys know her name. Like I was planning on maybe doing like a name reveal video type thing, but like I'm so new with videos and things like that that I'm like, I have all these ideas of what I would want to do for a name video, and it's just, I just haven't done it. It's already coming up to 40 weeks, so it's like, but her name is going to be Jaden Athena, and I feel like she knows her name, like, because every time I meditate with her every morning, and I always like tell her, I'm like, hey Jaden, I'm like, good morning, and everyone calls her Jaden, so it's like my best friends will literally play with my tummy and be like, Jaden, hi. So I feel like she knows her name already. I'm really into spirituality, yoga, being healthy. Yeah, all of that really good stuff. So I've been incorporating that into my pregnancy. And if you want to watch and follow along on the journey, I have all of my videos on my channel. So yeah, that's basically me. But yeah, let's get into it. Week 32. So 32 weeks pregnant. I have her measurements. Yeah, I did both of them from the Bump app. So she was 16.6 inches long is what the app says, and 3.7 pounds. And she was as big as a squash. So this week, my appetite decreased. I feel like she just like reached that point of just not having a lot of space in there, and I just didn't really feel like eating much, which was weird because just the week prior, so my 31 weeks, I was like wanting to eat everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, everything sounds good. And then so I thought I was just gonna like steadily like gain weight and all of that. I'm burping again, by the way. But no, like it just, I feel like she kind of like max capacity as far as like space in there goes. So then my appetite just decreased. So I'll pretty much snack throughout the day and stop when I'm full. So then I also experienced Braxton Hicks. I feel like it's for the first time, but I might have mentioned it before that I've experienced it, but it was like a legitimate Braxton Hicks. I didn't know, because I'm a first time mom, I didn't know if it was like legitimate contractions or if it was Braxton Hicks. I was sleeping and John was right next to me, and it was in the middle of the night, probably like 3 a.m. I don't even know. I don't know why I even wanted to put a time on it, but I woke up and I was just like kind of like moaning and groaning, and I was like, oh. And so I was like moaning and groaning, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I think I'm experiencing contractions. And I just started like breathing through it, and I was like, is this a real contraction? Is this a Braxton Hicks? I don't know the difference. Like, what the crap? Because I've heard from so many people that like Braxton Hicks are not painful. And then after I shared my experience with people, like what I experienced with this Braxton Hicks, they're like, oh yeah, it can be painful. And so I'm like, wait, but I don't know if it was a Braxton Hicks or a real contraction, but I do have to say I am grateful for experiencing that, because I feel like it really is prepping me for when she comes, like when I'm actually in labor and experiencing contractions, because I was just breathing through it and I was like, okay, got this. And I was kind of like getting the rhythm of it. And it was pretty cool to kind of experience it and just like be with it. It was pretty awesome. So I experienced that. And then from that point, I was kind of experiencing like cramping, like pain, I guess. Like I would say it's more discomfort, kind of like period cramps for a couple of days. They weren't too bad, because I was like, hey, when it gets to a certain threshold, I'm gonna call my doctor. But I like to listen to my body and figure out like, okay, like what is going on? Like, is this too intense? I know when to call my doctor. And I didn't feel like it was an emergency. So then I just started researching, and I remembered everyone saying to drink water. Like if you're experiencing a lot of contractions, cramping, to drink water first and foremost. And also I saw this thing that if it's interrupted, if the contractions of the Braxton Hicks are interrupted when you start walking and they kind of stop, like as you start moving or you change positions, or if they're just interrupted by movement, then it's not a real contraction or anything of concern. So I tested that theory, and I can't remember where I found it. It was somewhere, some website. Like you mamas know, when you're researching everything, it's just website after website. So I tested that theory and I was fine. Like when I was moving around, it was just when I laid down that it kind of started to feel uncomfortable, or when I was sitting for a long period of time. But I do have to say I was excited, because I was like, could this be it? Like, could I get to meet her? Like, I know I was only 32 weeks, but I just knew if anything did happen, everything would be fine. So I don't know. It got me even more excited. Like, is like the baby coming? And John like woke up that night and was like, is the baby coming? Like we both were just excited. We're just excited. We're first time parents. So we're stoked. But yeah, so I just started drinking way more water and realized that it was just practice contractions. Speaking of water, I have upped my intake so much. I wasn't drinking enough, which is probably why the contractions happened. Practice contractions happened. And so I have been drinking like a mad woman, and it has saved my life. I feel like so much different. I've been feeling good pretty much the whole pregnancy, but water has given me energy. Just like way more energy and feeling just more vitality, I guess you could say. So I definitely recommend more water. There's a reason why every pregnant mama is like, drink water. Same with breastfeeding. So like same with drinking, it's good to drink water while breastfeeding. So definitely I recommend that. That's what I've been doing. Also, I'm just reading my notes, which is why I'm like looking down. Also, I had another ultrasound. So it was like an elective ultrasound, and I brought my mom and my brother, and baby Jaden has, which is so cool to say her name. I love it. I feel like you guys are like a part of my life even more. She has a ton of hair. They were showing me, which makes sense, like all my hair plus John's hair is really thick. They were showing me her ultrasound, and they're like, do you see like all of that white stuff on her head? That is all hair. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because like we can put bows. Like I was gonna put a bow even if she was a bald baby, but like it's exciting. Also, let's see. Yeah, from that ultrasound, I got this picture. So actually this week, I believe it was this week, I think. Maybe it was next week. Oh, that was next week. But this is one of the gifts I got from one of my friends at the baby shower I had for my 33 weeks. Like I hit 33 weeks that day, but this is one of the gifts. It says dream big little one. It might come up the other way, but this is her. I know it's all like glary and glossy, but that's her cute little face and her cute little lips, and she was hugging up on her placenta, so, or her umbilical cord. So, umbilical cord. Her placenta. She was hugging up on her placenta. That's her best friend in the womb. So I just love it. I just love that picture. Love seeing her again. And my mom and my brother had an amazing time being there with me, seeing baby girl, because I think that was the first time. Yeah, that was the first time I've ever had them for an ultrasound. So they were excited. I think my mom cried. I'm pretty sure she did. Because I don't think she's been to any like ultrasound with her other grandkids. So it was like super special for her. And let's see, they also put her heartbeat into like a little, or I paid for it, but they put her little heartbeat recording. I am burping like a mad woman, guys. They put her heartbeat recording into a little plush, which is what you can do. And so we have it in her crib. She's not gonna be sleeping in her crib for a while. We're gonna be co-sleeping, but it's just so exciting. That plush thing is so cool. And we had a bunch of people listen to it, like all of our friends and family, and they love it. They were like gonna cry. So also acid reflux came in hot that week. Didn't ever turn into full-on heartburn, but just like that like feeling in my throat. And a lot of this is TMI, but just like puking in my mouth and being like, oh. So, and I just kept drinking water to kind of help with that, and coconut milk and almond milk really assist me a lot. And then this week my body was just super tired. Like my mind wasn't tired. Like I feel like there's a difference, for me at least. When I'm tired, like all the way tired, it's my body and my mind and everything that's just like, I need a nap. But this week it was just like my body. I didn't have like as good of workouts. I was in yoga, just feeling really fatigued. But I know during these times that my body's just exhausted, that it usually is her growth spurt time, which is exactly what happened. It's like when she's like super growing in there, and then like I can see a big difference in my belly, and I just know she has gone through a growth spurt. So that's what happened. And then I also put down here that I had manageable anxiety this week. So I was still having like anxious feelings, but it was just way more manageable. I was just finding things that I could do to assist with that. So it wasn't as bad. And I was just crying about everything in like gratitude. Like we just different things. I went and saw A Star Is Born with my best friends, and I was just crying because I don't know, I just like am in so much gratitude for everyone in my life, and just that movie is amazing. And so I'm just crying about everything, and I think it's beautiful because I am a generally very happy person. So before being pregnant, it was very hard for me to like cry. And so I'm enjoying being pregnant and crying about everything. And like, as weird as that sounds, just letting out my emotions. I love it. And then that week I had like a standard appointment, and she was just mentioning that next appointment she was going to check my positioning of, not my positioning, baby's positioning, because at 20 weeks she was breech. So, which isn't a cause for concern because it was 20 weeks and babies flip all the time. So I wasn't too concerned about it, but like kind of. So that's what she mentioned to me, which I now know her positioning, but I'm not gonna tell you guys until I do the 34 and 35 week update, which will be coming in soon. Because like I mentioned, I'm 35 weeks and 1 day. So that'll be coming soon. So that was pretty much that week. And then on to 33 weeks. Her measurements, she was 17.2 inches from the Bump app and 4.19 pounds. And she was as big as celery. So like a stalk of celery, I believe, I don't know. Which is crazy that she's so big. A 4 pound baby, like, oh my gosh. So this is when I had one of my baby showers. It was just like a smaller one, and that's like when I got the the little picture frame, and they did such amazing things. They made like vegan crepes and had all these like dressings for it, like vegan whipped cream and oh my gosh, like orange juice, and it was just so fun. They did the little diaper thing where you write just like sweet messages on a bunch of diapers. So in the middle of the night when I'm like sleep deprived and like changing her, I can read these messages that will like keep me pumped and motivated and feeling happy. So it was just a really good time, and I love celebrating anything. So like anytime I get to see any of my friends, especially if it's for baby girl, like, oh my gosh, it was just amazing. And then also that night I went out for one of my best friend's birthdays, and we went to we first went to dinner, which is nice because anytime a preggo can eat is incredible. But then we went to a little karaoke bar, which was so fun, like so fun. And I didn't even feel like pregnant. Like I just felt healthy and good. And the bartender waitress lady was so sweet, and she's like, hey mama, what do you want to drink? Like we have like mocktails, and it was so good. Like she was just so sweet and nice, and it was so fun to sing with my best friends, and just it was an amazing time. So there I was, 33 weeks pregnant at a bar. But people were so kind. Like I went to the bathroom and this lady was like, oh, go ahead, go in front of me, I've been there, I get it. And I was like, oh, thanks. She was awesome. So that was nice. And I felt way more energy this week. And I think it's just because my increase in water. I just kept chugging water, especially like when we were like out at that karaoke bar, people were making sure I had enough water. I was like, thanks guys. It's really weird for me sometimes to like accept people like helping me or assisting me, but I've learned just being pregnant just to accept it, because there are times when I legitimately just would like assistance and I get to accept the fact that I'm growing a human. But yeah, just I think the increase in water literally saved my life. And then it was just a really good week. I felt so good in yoga. I felt so good. The sun's going down. I felt so good in yoga. I felt so good just in general. Like my headspace was really good. I didn't feel, so I don't know why that just stopped, but here we are. So yeah, I didn't feel anxious that week at all, which is awesome. I just felt so good. And I was just like honoring myself, honoring my emotions, honoring where I was. And I just felt really good. Oh my goodness, technical difficulties. The universe heard that the sun was going down and this camera got all cray. Let's see, we'll fix this, guys. I'm not worried, it's just a little slippery. Okay. There we go. There we go. And then also, so I even wrote down lots and lots of water because of Braxton Hicks. And then really great workouts. I really felt like this week, like, oh my gosh, time is flying. Like, because at that point, that was 33 weeks, so that's 7 more weeks to go. Holy cow, that's crazy. But it was like a good, like, time is flying. Like, oh my gosh, like, look how far I've come. I've spent like this amazing amount of time growing this human, and oh my gosh, like everything just hit me, and more of those like little like grateful gratitude tears came in. And then I did feel nauseous just because she's getting so big that her movements are so big. They're not so much like the big old kicks, but just like a lot of rolls. And since her movements are so big, that just like tends to make me nauseous. But it's also like, it's so cute that I can't even be upset that she's making me nauseous, you know? I don't know. And then this week I also felt just like my tummy was just very much stretching and growing. Like I could feel it just growing, and it looks like it on my stomach. You guys will see, or maybe you'll be able to see, I don't know. Just my stomach is more veiny and just like more like, I've seen some updates where they just say their skin is just more like thinned out kind of type of thing. And then also I've been itchy everywhere. So my 33rd week, it became so apparent that everything's itchy, like my arms, my legs, everything. So I've been just putting on a ton of lotion and just drinking more water. I don't know how many times I've said water this video, but drinking more water. So that is it, guys, for my 32 and 33 week update. Like I said, 35 weeks pregnant in 1 day, and I update at the end of that week. So that will be coming soon, or it might come a little later because it's technically gonna be Thanksgiving week. On Thanksgiving though, guys, I only have 1 month left until her due date, and I just feel in my heart that she's gonna come a little early. I don't know, they say that first time mamas usually go over their due date or to their due date, but I just feel like she's ready. She's like, here we go. So that's pretty much that, guys. I do a lot of Instagram stories, so follow me on Instagram. I'll leave that down below, but it's @_Mother Teresa. And I keep burping, so that's awesome. I just am in her nursery having a good old time. I'm gonna make a video about my baby shower, I think, just like kind of like talking about it, recapping it, and just talking about how awesome that day was to celebrate Jaden. It's so cool to say her name. I could say it 20 times over, but I will show you guys the belly, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Let's see. Oh, come on, Jaden, let's show the world. So this is her. Whew. I've heard at this stage of pregnancy, the belly doesn't grow super fast anymore, and it's just kind of like her chunking up. I don't know. I think that's just different for every single person in the United States. I meant in the world, guys. I like to be goofy. And yeah, this is her. I call this my egg shirt because it reminds me of an Easter egg, like tie-dye. And then this is with the shirt up. And I do have stretch marks coming in hot on my sides, and that's even after applying creams and stuff. I just feel like my body wanted those stretch marks. I don't know if you guys can see all the veins, but she is veiny. Well, my belly's veiny. She's veiny, I guess. I don't know. And that's my other side. And also these pants are amazing. They're the most comfortable, amazing maternity pants in the world. Sometimes the band gets really tight if I've eaten a lot, so I sometimes just put the band down, but they're fine as of right now. But they're so comfy. Like, they're like the boyfriend fit jeans, I think, and they were only like, how much were these? Like, I think I got them on sale for like $10 at Ross. I don't know. Crazy, right? Anyway, guys, I love you. Have an amazing day. She'll be here so soon. So soon. All right, guys, I love you. Have an amazing day. Bye.